Guys, I got to be honest with you. In week 1, we said if you like the video, we'll win the football game. We did. We said the same in week 2, and we won the football game. Week 3, I don't know what the hell happened. But in week 4 and week 5, we said if you want the Giants to win, like the video. And they did. Now I'm asking you again because I am superstitious. I don't want to jinx it. If you want to beat the Baltimore Ravens, hit that thumbs up icon right now. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. As always, in today's show, we're going to go over the Wednesday injury report for the New York Giants coming out of practice on Wednesday. We'll break all that down. And then on the tail end of the show, we'll go through a Giants versus Ravens preview. I will give you my 5 biggest keys to victory if the New York Giants want to get to 5-1 on the season and beat the Baltimore Ravens. Let's first go through the injury report that came out after Wednesday's practice. 5 players were non-participants at Giants practice on Wednesday. Cor'dale still dealing with that calf injury. He didn't play last week. Kenny Golladay sounds like he's going to be out a while after that MRI revealed that he sprained his MCL. Not expecting Golladay to play this week. Tony Jefferson is dealing with the foot, as well as Jason Pinnock is dealing with that ankle. And Kadarius Toney now has not 1, but 2 bad hamstrings. He did not practice. And it doesn't look good for Kadarius Toney. I am not expecting him to play this Sunday against the Ravens. And that sucks because, honestly, the Giants, Daniel Jones, this receiving core, this offense, Mike Kafka, Brian Dable, me, and you, we all need him out there. There has never been a time where the Giants needed Kadarius Toney more so than they do right now. It would be a perfect time for your first overall pick in 2021 to produce on the football field. But yet again, Kadarius Toney is not practicing, and it sounds like he's not going to play this Sunday for Big Blue. And that sucks because when you look at this wide receiver depth chart, Kenny Golladay, hurt. Sterling Shepard, hurt. Kadarius Toney, hurt. Wan'Dale Robinson, hurt. You don't have any wide receivers. Your only healthy receivers are Richie James, David Sills, and Darius Slayton. You also have Marcus Johnson, who was called up from the practice squad last week. He looked pretty good. But look, you can't pay $78 million for a receiver and he don't play. And then you can't pick a receiver in the first and second round and Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson and them not play and continue to expect to win football games. The fact that the Giants are 5-1 and Kadarius Toney has played 5 quarters this year, whatever it may be, is truly incredible. That's a testament to Brian Dable and this coaching staff. But I want to ask you a tough question right here. What is your concern level for Kadarius Toney? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being you're not concerned at all. He'll be fine. He'll turn it around. It's Kadarius Toney, the Joker. Or type 10 for you are super concerned. He's a bust, and you're not sure if he'll ever play for the Giants again. Scale it from 1 to 10. I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. We also have some players and injury updates from practice that were limited participants, which means they only did a couple of things at practice, not full participants, only a couple of things. Saquon Barkley, he's dealing with that shoulder injury that cost him to miss some time in the game on Sunday. Brian Dable said, though, he should be good. I'm expecting Barkley to play this week. Darnay Holmes is dealing with a quad. You might have seen that video that went viral when his butt was out and they were rubbing him down. Looked super sus, but it happened. Adoree Jackson, he's dealing with that knee and neck injury. He left the game early. I'm expecting him to play. Chris Miriak's dealing with an ankle, and Azeez Ojulari is dealing with a calf. Some good news, though. Wan'Dale Robinson was a limited participant after he missed some practices last week. Sounds like he's trending in the right direction and might actually play football this week for Big Blue. Tyrod Taylor's coming back from that concussion he suffered in week 4 against the Chicago Bears. Didn't play in week 5. Sounds like he might be ready to go this week. And Leonard Williams also, like Wan'Dale Robinson, sounds like he is moving in the right direction, and the expectation is for Leonard Williams to be back on the football field. That's a big get for the Giants as they're set to go up against Lamar Jackson and this good offense, a good run offense, and the Baltimore Ravens. Look, game day's just around the corner, guys. Sub for Giants dubs. You know we say it all the time. Sub for Giants, dubs. If we get 100 new subs on this video, I've heard it is a guarantee the New York Football Giants are going to win the football game. I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm not saying that I don't believe it. So if you want the Giants to beat the Ravens, make sure you go down right now and hit. Don't go to that, Trace. It's wrong. Hit that sub button. Let's ride. Giants, dubs, sub right now. Yeah. We'll go through a preview right now. Look, and also, let's do this. Mindset. My mindset all week. You guys know I'm a big mindset guy. It was F Dallas. It was F Chicago. It was F Green Bay. Today, this week, it's F Baltimore. That is my mindset. I want everyone to type F Baltimore in the comment section right now. We did the FGBs last week, and I 100% think that had something to do with the win. So right now, get your mindset right. Join me in the chat. Type FBAL in the comments right now. Let's go through my 5 big keys to victory if you want to beat the Baltimore Ravens this week. Number 1, you got to slow down Lamar Jackson. He's arguably the MVP of the league right now, and you can make a case that he is the most dynamic offensive player in the National Football League. You have to find a way to slow him down, and I think the Giants might have a secret weapon in doing that. But let's take a look at the stats that Lamar Jackson has put up through the first 5 games of the 2022 NFL season. Lamar Jackson is awesome, guys. 64% completion rate, almost 1,100 yards through the air. He's already thrown 12 touchdowns in 5 games and 5 interceptions. So he's averaging an interception a game, which means if you play good defense, he will throw you the football. He will turn it over. Wink Martindale is going to get these guys right this week, no doubt about it. But it's not just the aerial attack and the arm that you have to deal with Lamar Jackson. You also got to worry about his legs. One of the most, if not the most electric runners of the football in the National Football League. 49 carries, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7.5 yards per run when he decides to tuck it. It's all about responsibility and maintaining your gap responsibility. And you have to play smart, sound, fundamental defense if you want to beat Lamar Jackson. And I think the Giants will do that because they're going to be prepared by our guy, Wink Martindale, who was the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator since Lamar Jackson entered the National Football League. This week is on you, Wink Martindale. You know the secret sauce. You know what has to happen to slow down Lamar Jackson. You were in those meetings when they were talking as a staff as, when we get this defense, Lamar struggles. You know what he struggles against. This is a Wink Martindale week. Wink in the chat right now. A Wink Martindale week. He needs to show up. He needs to have the troops ready to battle. It's on you, Big Wink. Get the guys ready to go to war this Sunday. I also want to give a shout out to our proud sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you go to chatsports.com/bet, use the promo code chat125. They're going to hook you guys up with a 125% deposit bonus. They're giving you free money. Just deposit $100 and they'll hook you guys up. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. Let Danny dime. Let Danny dime. There has never been a more opportune time this season to let Daniel Jones have the offense run not through his legs, but through his arms. And for this reason, the Baltimore Ravens are ranked dead last, 32nd in passing defense. They have allowed the most passing yards in the NFL through the first 5 weeks of the NFL. It is time for Daniel Jones to not do it with his legs, but do it with his arm. Put the team on your back and have the offensive game plan run through the passing attack. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in the past 3 games. It is time for Daniel Jones to get back in the passing touchdown column. He's been good this year. The stats aren't all that pretty. They're not all that sexy, but it is time for Daniel Jones to be the guy. We have trust in Jones. We trust Jones. We know he's tough as nails. I know he's going to need receivers. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is going to play. Guys like Robinson, guys like Darius Slayton, guys like Richie James. You need them to step up. Daniel Jones on the season completing 67% of his passes, less than 850 yards, 3 passing TDs, 2 interceptions, and 2 rushing touchdowns on 230 yards. It is time for Daniel Jones to win a football game with his arm. He is legitimately facing the worst pass defense in the NFL. This ain't the old Baltimore Ravens defense led by Wink Martindale. It's a new age. You can pick them apart in the secondary. They are very, very, very weak in that spot. I want to ask you guys a question. 290 passing yards for Daniel Jones this week. I picked that number because that is how many passing yards the Ravens are allowing every single week. 290 passing yards. That's how many yards they allow every single week. Over, under, place your bets in the comments section right now. You got to protect the football. And this is chalk. This is cliche. But if you win the turnover battle this week, you have a good shot to be victorious and be 5-1 going into week 7. This is a big week to protect the football because the Baltimore Ravens are tied for the most turnovers forced as a unit on defense. They create turnovers. They give up a lot of yards. They give up a lot of points, but they find a way to force you into turnovers. Daniel Jones, you can't fumble this week. You can't throw any interceptions. Saquon Barkley, high and tight, Tom Coughlin, Tiki Barber style. You can't put the pill on the turf this week. You have to protect the football. You have to be smart. You can't be risky. You can't at all afford to turn the football over. You're already an underdog. You're playing one of the most aggressive defenses in the NFL when it comes to forcing turnovers. Protect the football, win the turnover battle. You got a great chance to win this football game. Key number 4, dominate the trenches. Beat up the Baltimore Ravens inside the trenches. The Ravens, their offensive line, it's solid. But their defensive line is the weakest we've seen in a very long time. They have 11 sacks on the season, less than the New York Giants, and are averaging just 2.2 sacks per game. Andrew Thomas, keep doing what you're doing. John Feliciano, have a big week. Ben Bredesen, have a big week. Mark Lewinsky, show up. Build off of what you did last week. You looked really, really good. Evan Neal, this is the week where you put all those doubters to rest. Let them know that you're for real. Let them know that there was a reason that you were the number 7 overall pick in the NFL draft. Play like that number 1 tackle selected. Be great. Andrew Thomas, keep doing what you're doing. But these 5 guys need to dominate the trenches this week against Baltimore. They are not good at getting pressure on the quarterback. You can beat them up in the trenches. As my guy Brian Dable would say, just keep chopping that wood. Just keep chopping that wood. Keep chopping that wood and go to work and beat up the Baltimore Ravens inside the trenches this week. Chop that wood. I want to do something for the real ones here. We've done it every single week, and no one's gotten it right yet. I am begging for someone to get it right, and I will personally Venmo you $25 out of my own pocket. The first person to predict the correct score, I will Venmo you $25. You got to be the first person to predict the score. You got to pick the winner and the loser, and you can't edit your comments. None of that BS, none of that shiesty shit. Don't be a weirdo, be a real one. First person to predict the winner and the correct score, I'll Venmo you $25. Let Saquon eat. Let Saquon eat. Feed Saquon Barkley. Continue to be the most dynamic player on this offense. Continue to be the best running back in the NFL. Whether it's in the run game, whether it's in the pass game, find a way to involve Saquon Barkley because he has been the engine. He's been the jet fuel to this rocket ship on offense. 97 carries, 533 yards, averaging 5.5 yards per touch, 3 touchdowns. He's also been a factor in the pass game on offense. Find a way to feature Saquon Barkley. If the run game goes stagnant, don't get away from it. Because as we know, Saquon can go for 2, 1, -1, 0, 2, 3, and then 77 to the house. He can change the game with just 1 touch on the offensive end. If the run game gets stagnant, don't go away from it. Feed Saquon Barkley. And it can also be in the pass game. I want to see Saquon Barkley have like 7 catches this week. I want to ask you guys this question before we bounce on out of here on our preview. 110 total yards for Saquon Barkley this week against the Baltimore Ravens. Let me know what you think. Type H for higher, type L for lower, and remember, you want to beat the Ravens? Hit that thumbs up icon right now.